Today I'm going to share with you why I once thought that ice and a little bit of pressure can maybe one day save the world. As many of you know, there's a drive these days to switch to renewable energy sources. And one of the more problematic issues in switching entirely to clean energy is how to power things that are fairly mobile, such as cars or planes. And one of the solutions to this is to power them with hydrogen, which is a very clean energy source. However, hydrogen is extremely difficult to store in large enough densities that can compete with current fossil fuels, such as petrol. One of the solutions to this is how to store them in a material. So what I've done as part of my PhD is look at storing hydrogen in ice, which may sound pretty strange, but bear with me for 1 minute. So I'm fairly sure you all know what ice is. Ice is a solid form of liquid water. And in ice, the water molecules are frozen into position. And there are only certain arrangements of the molecules that are stable. And these can be accessed by squeezing ice to really high pressures. So for example, if you took some ice out of your freezer and then squeezed it to really high pressures, the molecules would adopt all of the arrangements shown at the top of the slide. However, if you were to take ice and squeeze it with a gas, such as hydrogen, things known as clathrates form. And this is where 20 or so water molecules get together and they form a little cage, such as the one shown at the far side. And in the center of this cage is a hydrogen molecule. And these structures, these arrangements, they change with pressure just as pure ice changes with pressure. And in general, at higher pressures, you can accommodate a lot more gas into the cages. So what I've done as part of my PhD is take different routes, such as either cooling down and then squeezing to high pressures, or squeezing to high pressures and then cooling down, taking different routes to form a clathrate that is completely useless for hydrogen storage. However, by doing this, I managed to access some of the high pressure arrangements at low pressures, such as this one here, which is a mix of a cage and a channel, and at the center it has a spiral of hydrogen molecules. However, this one isn't useful for hydrogen storage. It decomposes at minus 100 degrees Celsius, so unless we have a major ice age anytime soon, we probably won't be using that one. However, by changing the route ever so slightly, you can access different high pressure structures, such as cooling down slightly more and then squeezing to higher pressures. You can access different ones. So maybe one day we will have ice in our cars, and that would be pretty cool.